Oh, that's bad. Black on black. Oh well, it's back black on black. It's probably not the best idea today. Okay, you're gonna have to put up with it. Lenovo 710S. This is a 13-inch Ultrabook, and it's really interesting actually. It's very interesting, and it scored 86% at Notebook Check. It's an Ultrabook with gaming capability. It's got a GTX 940 MX, I think it is inside. Got a Core i7. We have an NVMe SSD inside, and it weighs just 1.1 kilograms. It's a really high-end device, 1,300 euros. We've got a fingerprint reader here, a really nice screen, SD card reader, DisplayPort out, USB-C, but that's not 3.1 Rev 2, and there's no HDMI, so we only got the DisplayPort output on that. Is that coming out of the, yeah, that's coming out of the USB-C port. So let's take a look around the device, and I'll give you some idea of the performance characteristics, and you can decide at the end of the video whether it's worth it. So before we start looking at the performance characteristics, we're going to ask, what is this device for? Because it's got the 940 MX, is it the MX? It's the 940 MX inside, it isn't really full gaming. So what you're getting here is graphics capability that's about 50% above a Core i5 U series, an Ultrabook standard Core i5, and about double that you'll get, that you'll find in something like a Core M device. So in terms of weight, graphics power to weight ratio is pretty good. In terms of game playing capability, there's not a lot there. If you look at our gaming test, I have to scroll all the way through down here to have a look at the gaming test, and I'll do another gaming test in a minute. I'll use my Rise of the Tomb Raider test to get a good feel of how it compares with Ultrabooks that run at 15 frames a second, and the gaming laptops that can run right up to 120 frames per second. I'm not getting a good impression here, but the 38.6 for The Witcher 3, a 2015 game, kind of tells me that it's entry-level PC gaming. There is some stuff you can do here on 3066 by 768 resolution with low settings. So for sort of game snacking on the PC side of things, it can be used for that. It also brings some advantages with video editing, so rendering might be faster. We'll have to compare that to QuickSync, but certainly things like filters that can be rendered on the GPU, certainly for previews and that sort of stuff, that could be quite an advantage. Let's go straight to the screen then. It's a full HD IPS screen. It's glossy, so good viewing angles, and out of the box, great contrast. So that's a good black level, 350 odd nits brightness. sRGB coverage, not quite 100%, 80+%, which is kind of acceptable for a bit of video, photo editing, certainly if you're doing social media type stuff, and my level of YouTube stuff where I don't do massive color corrections, that will be fine. So you'll be able to get some HD editing done on this as well. A U-Series dual core will let you do some HD editing, and the nice thing about this one is there's an NVMe SSD inside. Up to 1.4 gigabytes per second transfer speed. I just want to bring the 1.472 on the right, 1.577 gigabytes per second. So about 3 times as much as you get on the best SATA 3 connected SSDs. Will allow you to throw around big files, big HD files, 50, 60 frames a second files, 30, 50 megabits per second without any problem at all, and also allows you to start up those big games quicker as well. So that's going to be a real advantage. That's a nice thing to have in this. Keyboard, I like the keyboard. It is not completely high end, but there's a good bit of throw there. It's a nice solid keyboard. There's a backlight there. Mouse pad, okay. tiny little bit too much flexibility in the bottom on the clicks. In my opinion, feels a little bit plasticky, but in usage, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So the whole fascia here, and that's exactly what you want to see before you look at any other specs of a laptop, is the fascia working for you. And full HD screen, nice keyboard, nice trackpad, top marks there. Windows Hello fingerprint reader there is going to really help you log in without having to worry about giving away passwords or pattern combinations on the screen. And let's take a look around some of the ports. I'm going to start with the SD card port because that's quite interesting for those of you that are doing media work. 65 megabytes per second is the max transfer rate we got on that, so it's not one of those slow 25 megabytes per second SD card readers. That's good. So in our SDXD card reader, we got 65. So that's not high end. We've seen well over 100 megabytes per second on some devices, but that's acceptable for full HD files. You've got a USB 2 port here. There is a, what is that? Oh, it's a microphone, built-in microphone there. Headset port there, USB-C 3.1 Rev 1, so it's a USB 3 port behind there, but you can push a display port out through that as well. USB 3, that's a Super SS, that's not actually marked blue as normal, but it is a super speed, so that's a USB 3. And the power. So obviously not a Yoga, but it goes back all that way, which is nice. Some devices will get really annoying once you are sitting above them and you can't push the screen back. So for tall people, this is really nice. You can really get that screen angled back. Speakers are supposed to be good. I haven't tested those. Have a look at the full review where we've got a nice analysis of the speaker there. JBL speakers. You know, I'm getting to the point where I'm not even bothering to test speakers on laptops anymore. Everyone says they're marketed as fantastic, but of course they never are. They might be reasonable, but there's never any bass there. You can't use it for a satisfactory sort of music experience. Background YouTube stuff is probably okay. There's a look at the bottom there. You see fan input, single nice solid foot there. Have we got pictures of the back off on this? I haven't had a chance to look at whether we can take the back off, but I know the guys at Notebook Check will have tried and the pictures will be there. We haven't got pictures of the back off on this, so I can't tell you whether you can upgrade that SSD. Well, if you're going to go for the 512 gig NVMe version, you probably won't need to bother. By the way, there is a lower end version of this with a 256 gig SSD and without that NVIDIA for €1,000. This is €1,300. So if you're not interested in that graphics, there is an option there, and maybe that might be better for some people. One of the trade-offs with the graphics card, of course, is that battery life might not be as good as with the standard U-series processor. And in our test, yes, we can see it's only got a 43 watt-hour battery, but the battery life figures, as he scrolls all the way through to them, were 5 hours 38 minutes on Wi-Fi surfing. And you know what, for a 13-inch device that weighs 1.1 kilos, that only got a 43 watt-hour battery, and has got a graphics card in as well, that's actually not too bad. But if you want more battery life, there are devices out there for this sort of weight that will get you 7, 8, 9 hours of battery life. So if ultra portability is your thing, maybe you want to look at the Dell XPS 13, which this is really kind of going up against, and other similar devices. On our full review, you'll see we've compared to other devices. In fact, in terms of battery life, the XPS 13 was more than double the battery life on Wi-Fi surfing. So yeah, more than double, exactly double. So that's the sort of battery life you'll get on a device with without the graphics. Graphics performance on this is 50% above the Dell XPS 13. So if graphics is important, there you go. It's all about trade-offs on this one. But I do like the fact that they've actually decided to put the graphics in and keep the weight down. The battery life is the trade-off. One thing we did notice on this with our basic CPU performance tests, Cinebench single CPU and multi-CPU, we saw it underperforming the average in the class. So that's other U series, other Ultrabook style devices, 10%, 15% in one case. So it's not really powered up to be the highest performer, so there's a bit of downclocking going on, and that might be because the graphics card is in there and it's heating up a little bit quicker than it would without the graphics card. That might be something that's not there in the version without the graphics card, but we haven't tested that one. Now, the other thing I want to mention is noise, and 37.2 isn't that high. It's not too bad, and that's our highest noise level under load, but there was a slight whistling speed on it, so that can be annoying even at lower dB levels. So bear that in mind. You might want to consider that if you're working in a silent room. There's a massive lineup of pros and cons on the website. Our reviewer Sven Kluvenkorn has lined that up for you. I'll pick out a couple that I've already mentioned. Battery life could be longer, that whistling noise on the fan, reflective screen rather than a matte screen, and interfaces. There's no HDMI on this, and of course if you're gaming you probably want a couple more USB ports. Audio input port might be nice as well. On the Pro side, it's extremely light and thin for the power you're getting. 1,300 euros, well, that's up to you to decide whether it's worth it. The fingerprint scanner, I think that's got to be on high-end devices, on every high-end device 2017. Backlit keyboard, screen quality, all round a very nice package. So check it out. The Lenovo Ideapad 710S, can I give you the full model number here? 710S Plus 13IKB, tested on the 1st of February 2017 by Sven. Check out the full review on notebookcheck.com, notebookcheck.net. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. My name's Chippy, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, which is going to be this MSI GL62, was it? The GL62? Yes, the GL62 gaming laptop from MSI. So that's next up on the Notebook Check channel, so don't forget to check that out. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. But I forgot time to change my shirt or change the background. So we'll go through this video with this really kind of strange floating head. Does this work? Can I just put this over my head? Kids, don't do this.